Hi everyone, this is Nick from An Epic Shift, and this is the first in what I'm hoping is going to be a series of videos that talk about the laws of attraction. And more specifically, what I want to do is I want to help people who follow the works of Wayne Dyer and Gabby and Esther Hicks, but haven't been able to make the laws of attraction work for them. So for all of you out there who want to or have been trying to manifest something and haven't been successful, these are the videos for you. So the topic I want to bring up today is what, in my opinion, is where most people go wrong when it comes to manifestation. Now, Abraham says there's basically two steps when you want to manifest something. First, you need to specify what you want, and that's easy, right? You just need to be specific. You can just simply make a list or use a creation declaration. And then the second step is getting into alignment with your desire. And that's where things go wrong for most people, or that's the step that most people fail to do properly or accomplish. And that's because of what I call resistance. So most people have things going on vibrationally, often stemming from childhood, and often things that they're not even aware of that are keeping them out of alignment. So they're reaching for joy, they're reaching for those high-flying discs, they're reaching for those places that Abraham tells you you need to be to get into alignment, but they're not able to get there in a way that brings their desires into their reality. So to give you an example, this is a really good example actually. I was out with some friends the other night and we were having some drinks, and a friend turns to me and says, "Nick, you know what? I haven't been able to find much motivation lately. I'm having a hard time getting out of bed." And I said, "Okay, well, what's the main stress that you have going on in your life?" And he thought for a second. He said, "Well, it's definitely money. It's definitely my financial situation," which is common for most people, right? I said, "Okay, well, how does your financial situation make you feel?" He says, "Well, I can't do anything I want to do. I don't have the money for it, so it makes me feel really powerless." I said, "Okay, powerlessness. Okay, well, that's a good starting point." I said, "Okay, now think about your last significant relationship, your last long-term relationship." And I said, "What was the biggest problem in that relationship?" And he thought for a second, and he said, "It was probably communication." And I said, "Okay, well, communication in what way?" And he said, "Well, I could never get the last word in. She would always have the last word. I never had to say. We would always do what she wanted to do." And I said, "Okay, well, how did that make you feel?" He said, "Well, it made me feel real powerless." And as soon as that word came out of his mouth, he went kind of, a little light bulb went off in his head. I said, "Okay, now go back to another significant event in your life, or another past relationship, and see if that powerlessness theme comes up again." He said, yeah, it does." He looked kind of puzzled now. You know, what's going on? Why does all this powerlessness come up in my life? I said, "Okay, now rewind the clock and go all the way back to childhood." And I said, "Do you see that theme showing up anywhere in childhood?" He said, well, yeah. He said, "I was the youngest of three, and I never got to decide what we were going to do. I always had to follow along with everybody else." So he had, stemming from childhood, which is usually where most of this stuff comes from, something going on vibrationally that was creating this powerlessness theme throughout his life, and it was also responsible for his money situation. So we did a little bit of tapping work, some EFT. We cleared out the emotions responsible for that powerlessness during that time in his life. And the funny thing is that at the end of the night, we were there till closing, and the waitress came over with all the bills for the table, and she forgot his bill. And she was kind of tired and stuff, and she looked back over at the cash, and she said, "You know what, you've only had a couple of drinks, you know, don't worry about it, this one's on the house. I'm just too tired to go back and print off another bill." So it's kind of neat to see that he had that big of a shift so quickly, and he's been doing great ever since. So that's a bit of a good example in terms of how you can have something going on vibrationally that's keeping you out of alignment, and you're not really aware of it. So now I'm assuming some of you are sitting watching this and wondering, okay, what might I have going on that I'm not aware of? And what you want to do is you just have to ask a simple question. So think of what you might have going on, and think, okay, well, how does this situation make me feel? And then whatever comes up, look into significant events in your life, past relationships, and see if that seems to be a repeating or an ongoing theme, especially if you can trace it back to childhood. And once you identify, you need to then clear the emotions around those childhood experiences. And you can do that again with something like EFT, some tapping work. I like to use NLP and timeline therapy as well. Even focus wheels can help clear some stuff. So those are some of the means that I use to help people clear those emotions or patterns that they have going on vibrationally. Now I hope that helps you out. I'm looking forward to some more videos. If you do some digging work and you find out you've got something going on vibrationally, feel free to share it. And if enough people have the same common issues, maybe we can do another video with some tapping, some EFT to help you guys clear some of that stuff. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time.